She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay? Okay? And by the way, he does that shit. Everybody in the world called him a
Chris Rock's recent message to Will Smith through his comedy special on Netflix has shocked the world on how blunt and bold it was. Chris made it clear that he wasn't the one with the problem and that Will was in dire need of help.
Mo, y'all know what happened to me. Getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows.
At last, almost a year after Will Smith matched on the Oscars stage and smacked Chris on his face, Chris has finally spoken at length for the first time about it on his comedy special Selective Courage. Chris Rock lamented, "Everybody knows, yes it happened, I got slapped a year ago. I got smacked by this and people are like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears." Rock appeared weary and frustrated as he spoke about Smith at the end of his stand-up show, which was streamed live on Netflix from the Hippodrome Theater in Baltimore. It was clear from his speech that the Oscars slap had been on his mind for a long while. To Chris, he felt as though Will had directed his anger on him because of his wife, Jada Smith, and several other people have supported this claim. During last year's Oscar ceremony, Smith smacked Rock in the middle of the broadcast after he joked about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, having a bald head. Now, most people didn't know, but it turns out Jada has alopecia and the joke cut her a little too dear than intended. From Will's initial reaction, it was clear that he had taken Chris's words as a joke, but when he glanced at his wife, his demeanor changed immediately and he went on the stage to smack a bewildered Chris before returning to his seat and shouting, "Keep my wife's name out of your bleeping mouth." Chris declined pressing charges, and even days later Rock performed in Boston but said on stage then, "I'm still kind of processing what happened. So at some point I'll talk about that shit. And it will be serious and funny." Rock revealed that the slap had inspired the name of his show. Will Smith practices selective outrage. Everybody knows what the happened. And everybody really knows I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't have any entanglements. Chris had opened his ear and he was referring to Jada Pinkett Smith's description of the affair she had with rapper August Alsina while married to her husband Will Smith. Jada even made the admission directly to Smith on an episode of her online show, Red Table Talk.
Was her son's friend, okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this shit.
He then continued, "Everybody in here has been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. She hurt him way more than he hurt me." Chris Rock then claimed that he had tried calling Will to talk to him and give him his condolence, but unfortunately Will did pick up. "Everybody called that man a bitch. And who's he hit? Me?" he added to laughter. It really shook the world when Jada Smith revealed that she had had a relationship with Alsina 4.5 years ago when their marriage was going through a rough patch and she was separated from Smith with the intention to divorce. Jada made it so she was interviewing her husband on her own show, The Red Table Talk, about why she cheated on him. In the show, she explained, "I started a friendship with August and we actually became really good friends." She then added that she wanted to help the musician with his mental state and found resources to help pull him through a troubling time. Jada then said, "I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. With this, she was able to turn herself into a household meme on the internet and put her husband up for mockery with people all over the world mocking Will for his weird relationship drama." Candace Owens was also a part of the people who thought Will Smith needed help, and she even accused Jada Pinkett Smith of leaving her husband spiritually annihilated while discussing the latter's Oscars controversy involving Chris Rock. She revisited the shocking moment on her talk show Candace and condemned Smith's act of violence while raising several questions about society and masculinity in the process. To her, Will Smith had become nothing more than his wife's lapdog. She also took a dig at Jada herself and claimed that she played a key role in her husband's behavior at the awards show. Her comment had the same meaning as what Chris Rock was trying to say, that Will's problem was more because of his wife than because of him. Candace pointed out that Smith initially laughed over the Rock's G.I. Jane joke on Jada Pinkett Smith. When Chris Rock first makes the joke, Will laughs, meaning that he takes the joke as it was intended, lightly.
But then he looks over and he sees that his wife does not find the joke funny, and he immediately goes from an amused attendee to a thug-life husband, defending the honor of his wife's hair.
But then he looks over. However, she also noted that Smith decided to hit Rock across the face after noticing his wife's disappointed reaction to the joke. Owens highlighted a clip of Pinkett Smith rolling her eyes on Rock's joke while her husband was seen laughing. Following further analysis, she said, "Through all of these jokes and the rampant commentary that is being offered, there is conversation that is being neglected, a truer assessment of what we observed on that Oscar stage." Owens then referred to several of Smith's iconic on-screen characters and said that he echoed none of the roles during the Oscars ceremony, but instead stood on stage as a broken man. She then went on to discuss Jada Smith's past entanglement with rapper August Alsina and accused her of causing spiritual annihilation to her husband. The truth is that off the big screen, Will Smith has been spiritually annihilated by his wife. Don't forget, it was Jada Pinkett Smith who openly shared with the world how she cheated on her husband. Remember, and with who? Her son's friend, Candace Owens, then went ahead and called Jada and Alcida's entanglement as an extramarital affair, criticizing the Red Table Talk episode where she confessed about her equation with Alcida. Candace claimed that it was so sad how Jada carried out an extramarital affair with a young man who was actually friends with her son. How she then put her own loving husband out onto the world stage and told the public about her infidelity, while making him sit through it, listen to it, and agree that she had the right to do what she did. Candace Owens didn't just stop at the extramarital affair, she also criticized the marriage arrangement between the Smiths and said, "The takeaway from this interview was that they together represented some newer, more progressive form of what it means to be in a marriage, which is to say, not being in a real marriage at all." The commentator then added that Smith should be pitied instead of being prosecuted or persecuted for his latest actions. She said that at this point in time, Will Smith was someone who was supposed to be pitied, not prosecuted in a courtroom, or even persecuted in the public eye, but pitied by every person who has the clarity to see how our society is falling apart. She dubbed Will Smith as a casualty in the great war against masculinity and called him the person that psychologist Jordan Peterson would warn about. She then went on to highlight the plot of Demi Moore's 1997 film G.I. Jane that Chris Rock used for his Jada joke, and said that the story was about a woman being integrated into the all-male space of the United States military. She added that the film was inspired by the story of the loss of one woman's femininity to meet the grueling physical demands of a more masculine environment, before sharing her thoughts on why Jada Pinkett Smith would be perfect for playing the role. She then went on to criticize Will Smith, saying that slapping a man across the face is not the real symbol of manhood. Following her lengthy commentary, Candace ended the interview by wishing Will Smith luck in finding his real-life pursuit of happiness. She also had more to say about Chris Rock's selective outrage, saying Chris Rock was right for claiming Jada was the problem and that Will needed help. Chris himself said he did not retaliate on the night because he has parents and his parents raised him right and told him not to fight in front of white people. Will Smith himself has repeatedly talked about the slap since, publicly apologizing to Rock the day after on Instagram, writing, "I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." He later said that he had tried to reach out to Rock to personally apologize, but Chris wasn't ready to talk. A fan on Twitter, "What Chris Rock said about Will Smith and Jada is true. Someone had to say it. How do you cheat on someone and have them come on your show and discuss how your cheating made them feel? That is crazy." Another said, "Damn." Chris Rock finally commented on the Will Smith slap, and he sure didn't keep the Emperor's wife's name out of his mouth. Called Will a bitch for letting Jada interview him about her cheating on him. Slapped him back. Anyways, let's not forget that this video is based on theories and my opinions and should not be considered facts. That's it for this video. Bye.